week. And the man is here. He's from Us the People, and his name is Tshireletso Mati. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm well, my brother. How are you?
Fantastic, thank you. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Can you kindly tell people at home who you are, what you do, what you're about?
Well, as you have introduced me, I'm Tshireletso Mati, and of course I'm an activist in politics, in social issues. Activism is wide, and you cannot actually partition it. So we are involved in everything: the economy, politics, social issues, education, and everything else that encompasses our lives. So you cannot divide your focus and say, myself, I'm focusing on the economy. This one divide. No, life is one thing that is whole. So
that's true.
Our focus is holistic like that, and that is basically who I am, and that is basically who I am becoming, because I cannot say that I am someone, but I am becoming someone. At any given time, I am learning and I am becoming someone else.
You know, you have an organization called Us the People. What is the organization all about, and what do you guys do?
Well, the organization is fundamentally about freedom. That is individual freedom of all of us. I mean, there's nothing that as people we would appreciate more than freedom. From when you are born, actually, your freedom is being restricted and limited by your parents. When you play as a child, they reprimand you. When you are free like that, so there's always limits to freedom. The government limits people's freedom. The education system limits people's learning. They give you a curriculum. They do not allow you to become yourself and to learn according to what you are experiencing. So they give you a curriculum to follow. You understand? So that is the freedoms that are being taken away from people unaware. So
why is that dangerous?
Well,
taking away people's freedom.
It's obviously we are here on earth for quite a short time, and I think in that short time we should be able to experience this earth without limits. So if we are going to put limits on people's experience, they are going to continue to produce the same thing. They are going to continue to be channeled in the direction that whoever is in control wants. So we should all be free to experience our life without any limitations, knowing that obviously there's responsibilities in our lives. You must take it, because we speak of equal freedom for everyone. It means that when I'm enjoying my freedom, I cannot infringe on your freedom. So it's like that.
So there's a balance to it. So it's not it's not a reckless abandonment into just nothingness. There's still a responsible person who's thinking about what I'm doing and how my actions affect somebody else. Now, your organization, Us the People, what do you guys do?
Well, we're a political organization, largely focused on enlightening young people to the fact that we do not need to be led by leaders. We can actually lead ourselves into doing whatever activities we are meant to be doing. We can do them for ourselves. If you look at young people in South Africa now, they can even protest so that they can be employed by someone else. People fighting someone to employ them. We always tell people that the politicians who are in parliament, the likes of Julius Malema, they are employed by us, the people of South Africa. They are working for us. Julius Malema has never been employed before. Before he was employed as a member of parliament to make legislations for us. But you cannot expect employment from someone who has never been employed before, who you are employing actually as the citizens. We are employing them as the citizens, so we cannot really expect them to create employment for us. So we enlighten young people that we need to take responsibility. I saw a headline, Cyril Ramaphosa saying young people need to take responsibility, and he's absolutely right. Young people need to take responsibility for their lives. Young people need to take responsibility for whatever they need. We cannot fight someone to say, create a job for me. I'm sitting at home. Create a job for me. When you are saying you are sitting, you are actually, admitting that you are not doing anything about your life. You are expecting an external force to direct your life, and it is what we are enlightening young people about, that we are free to create our own lives. You know, we are given the present is the gift that we have to change our past into the future. So this present that we have, we must use it fully and not donate it to perhaps older people who see that they played with their gift and want to control young people's present to create whatever they desire.
That's powerful. You know, you spoke about not needing leaders. There's something that you guys speak about. It's called a stateless society. You know, a lot of people don't know. Maybe they might think you're trying to be a vagabond when you say stateless society. So what does it mean to have a stateless society?
Well, it is as the term suggests. To be without authority that controls people collectively. You know, a state is the state is what replaced the societies that we had before, which were controlled by monarchs, right? So the state is the one that gives you an impression that you elect people who represent you. But people do not need to be represented. People need to present themselves, because the representation comes after something has been presented. So we do not need to be represented. We need to present ourselves to the world. And we don't need anyone to represent us to the world. We need a society where we do not have authority that can come tomorrow on TV and tell you that you must not be outside at 8. We need to get rid of they tax fuel levies, they tax tolls on the road, they can give you a ticket on the road. You know, all the money goes back to the state. So, but it is people's labor that the state is taking. So we need a situation where our labor comes to us. That is why people have been on the same position that they have been historically, because all their labor, all their efforts actually goes to the state.
So, but then, you know, we're already living in a state. Almost globally, we have states everywhere. So how do we go about, you know, getting into a stateless society? What are your plans and thoughts of how we would transition from where we are now to a stateless society?
Well, that would take a change in how people think, because a state is not something physical.
Yes.
It is a social construct.
Yes.
It is a social agreement. It is a social contract that we sign when we are born, when you get a birth certificate, that you belong to the
Can I
state.
just interrupt you? Please check out the message. What is that message that pastor has? Theory of Nations.
Yeah, Theory of Nations.
Theory of Nations, so you can learn more about what he's talking about. Continue.
Yes, so obviously, we don't need a state, and we can realize that if we just change our thinking, that the state does not exist. There's no such a thing. What exists is people, right? What exists is the resources. What exists is things that, the air that we breathe, the water, the land, the sun. Those are the things that exist. Any other idea that comes to say that this is how we can distribute these resources, this is the structure that we can form in society, can come from anyone, right? Before there were states, like I was saying, we had monarchs, right? And we did not have these states. So these states came about in such a manner that they came about forcefully, right? And they partitioned pieces of land and say, this is the state, this is the state. But if we just change our thinking to abandon that idea and exist as societies, as people, without the control of authority, without the control of states, it can happen. I mean, the state does not do anything for anyone. Our people have been doing things for themselves. Our people, even now, they do things for themselves. I mean, black people and many other nations, if you look at how they conduct funerals, there's no involvement of the government or state in a funeral. We get together as a community, then we contribute, we bury this person, right? So if we can work together like that as a society, I mean, if they even society, you understand, it's a society working together, right, to bury someone, then we can have societies working together to give people access to water, to give people access to whatever people are saying they need from the state. So we need to form societies in our communities and not have this concept of only working together in death, but not being able to work together in life.
What he's saying is very crucial, and we're going to have more of it after the break.
So for just
we just need some last words from you. You gave some real nuggets that people should take home and think about, and restructure their mind on how they think about society. So, what are your last words to that young person watching you right now on the screen, and you just want them to take away something, regarding the structure of politics in a sense?
Well, I mean, politics in the 21st century are not like politics in the 20th or 19th century, where we had like the 1976 generation that took to the streets to fight, and the wars that we have seen in the world. Politics are no longer like that. Politics are here now, not here on the gun. So young people really need to take responsibility for their thinking, to take responsibility for their actions, and to stop depending on anyone for anything. So young people need to, I mean, we've put energy into this existing system. So obviously we need to, in order to change it, we need for that energy that we have put in the system to direct it towards the change we desire in this system. So we need to participate in any opportunity that we are given to change the system. Even if it's to change, I mean, representative democracy, where you get to elect leaders, you can be able to use that process to change it into another form of organizing society. Perhaps you can change this representative democracy into a direct democracy, where now we do not elect leaders to represent us, but we actually, as communities, decide according to our needs how we're going to distribute our taxes, how we're going to distribute our resources based on what we have in our community and based on our needs as a community, instead of electing a group of elites who choose on behalf of everyone else what must happen. So this democratic process, we can be able to use it to explore other means of organizing society. So, I mean, it is quite clear throughout the world that people are being coerced to move in a particular direction. But as people, I mean, we can choose to create our own lives. We can choose, I mean, we are living creators after all. So we can be able to create whatever life we desire. So young people really need to stop creating another mainstream and actually be living creators of their own dreams.
Man, yo, I learned a lot. I really learned a lot, and I hope you also learned a lot. But my takeaway was you should be responsible as a young person. Take responsibility is what he said. This thing of us waiting for government to do something for you. There's a quote that says, don't wait for the government to do something for you. Ask yourself what you can do for your government.